Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. Be comfortable yourself and let me get connected with our other students, and then we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound, and while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra, just follow the sound please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we are trying to share some basic informations related to meditation and give you some kind of understanding how to build up a very good spiritual foundation within your own practice. So especially we have to know with this practice what we can gain out of meditation, how our mind development happen, mental development happen, how it going to become profitable for us. Because once you know that, it will help you to keep practice little by little, little by little. So somehow the very first thing out of this practice help you to change the way you think. Because most of time we just try to think according to our habitual patterns. We have a certain way to think. There are many mental models people keep thinking. So the very first thing, we have to remember that whatever the mental model that we have, already within us may be not going to pour our future, especially to understand the reality or the truth. Just to live a normal life, maybe it's going to be okay. But we need a very different kind of mental model to achieve to the truth. Go into more higher wisdom. Go beyond this conventional level of lifestyle. So practicing meditation will help you to gain that. And other thing is why we need to practice meditation, because we knowingly or unknowingly through this life, through the samsaric journey, we accumulated a lot of informations which is not necessary for us. And sometimes that all the informations we accumulated is kind of like a garbage. So out of this all the information, how are you going to know what are the profitable informations or the memories that you carry within yourself? So that's why rather than keep rotating or keep repeating this information we have within us, meditation will help you to give a break to your mind, just to settle down itself, because the mind itself has the ability to connect with the clarity. So then you are allowing your mind to be with that. But the thing is, suddenly we can't do it. Overnight we can't do it, because we have a habit with our mind to go with in many, many different ways, different way of thinking. So the very first thing then we have to do, we have to develop a mental model. So out of meditation practice, it's going to develop inside us certain kind of mental model, which we call critical analytical understanding, or another way we call the vipassana. Vipassana. So the passana means seeing, observing, recognizing, analyzing. We means thoroughly, deeply, vigorously, without becoming biased to your own mental imagination, thoughts, ideas. You observe the perception thoroughly, deeply. So that is a mental model. And why you need that mental model? Because why people have these mental models? Because the very nature of a life, very nature of life, uncertainty. That's the bottom line. But to understand that uncertainty, pays for that, accept it, you have to have so much courage. Because the most of time out of the ideas and many ideologies and many kind of groups, many kind of teachings, many kind of cults, many kind of gurus, and many kind of organizations, many kind of cultures, many kind of religions. What we does, we are kind of like trying to develop certain kind of mental balance, believing something going to be certain. There will be something for me. And it's kind of like when it comes to our mind, that whatever happened to us, whatever we think, it's kind of like we try to take it a kind of like a positive way. And at the same time, we are so comfortable with it. Even though it has uncertainty, we are trying to kind of like get it in a certain way. So for that, we develop many ideas, thoughts around us. But end of the day, when it comes to the reality, life itself uncertain. So out of this critical, analytical, mental model, you go into deeper to accept the truth or embrace the uncertainty, impermanence, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness, those kind of things. You are willing to accept it. That is the highest openness that you can carry. Just imagine, can you wake up tomorrow without any kind of a structure, mental plan, any kind of hopes, any kind of dreams? So whatever, can you accept it as a part of life rather than resisting, rather than go with this is right, this is wrong, I always want to be the right person, I always want to be the healthy person, I always want to be the successful person, I always need the other people's credit and the other people's that opinion related to me. Always I want to hear the good things from others. And why, as a parents, why you always think, oh, you want to be right, your children always want to be right, always want to be success. Where it is? Do you think it's going to be real? Is it possible? No. Then have you ever thought yourself, when the uncertainty is there, can you accept it? Have you ever taught your children how to face for the uncertainty? Why you always kind of like a going 100% want to be positive? It's nothing wrong being positive, but as we know, as matured people, we know in our life, it is just another dream. So then, have you ever thought about it? Because in life, we used to follow the others' ideas, thoughts. Basically, when it comes to understanding, developing the wisdom related to how to think is an art. So the meditation slowly will take you into that. So when it comes to the Western world, we know we have the philosophy. The whoever love for the knowledge and go for knowledge. And the science also has a kind of like a meaning from Latin word scientia. It's that from where that is the science word came. It's also mean love for wisdom, love for knowledge. So the science and the philosophy around us all the time. But today, what happens? We are, rather than developing our mind, we become biased to knowledge and informations. And now we take it as the science. If you just mean, when you say, oh, I follow the science, I like the science, what that mean? Do you have the open mind? Or when people say, I like philosophy, Do you think, do you want to know about the wisdom, or are you become a bias to certain information? Are you ready to follow some informations? So in the world, that's why they are kind of like a rationalist. So this rationalist kind of like they always go with reasoning and logic. They thought to understand only the way reasoning and logic. And another one called empiricist, that they thought it's only the experience. But meditation is a method that develops a mental model, reasoning and logic, and at the same time experience. Even though you use all the tools without becoming biased to that anything, you go deeper into understand how things come to be as they are. So then always remember that becoming free from your own mind is the principle. Becoming free from your own mental patterns and get out of the prison that you develop inside your head is the way to find the freedom. So that's why you need some kind of understanding. So when you practice meditation, especially when it comes to anapanasati or contemplate on inhalation, exhalation, or basically it's famous observing breathing. So you are capable to develop a kind of like a very advanced mental model, can connect with merge with the embrace uncertainty. So it's the one thing is when it comes to that mental model, once it become attitude, that means once you start to think like that, there are a lot of things that start to change inside you. So one of the thing is when it comes to this mental model, the process of activity and it's a kind of like a very skillful way you develop a thinking pattern inside you, analyze. So that is something that most of the time we don't have. And evaluation and bringing that all the informations that we have and recognizing. So in mind, sometimes with whatever the perception you have with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, just imagine when you see something, you don't want to analyze about it. What is analyzing mean? Breaking down to pieces. So that's why when you observe inhalation, exhalation, so beginning, middle, end, long inhalation, short inhalation, heavy, soft, warm, cold. So you slowly start to break down to pieces. So when you have the ability to break down to pieces, you are not going to be biased to that information. That's a very beautiful mental model that if you can develop. Remember that when you just imagine when you want to eat something, you go and buy something, or maybe you buy a pizza, burger, or so whatever, or maybe plate of rice, or with the many other curries, just anything. Just imagine, oh, this is so good, you can appreciate. But if you analyze it, you recognize there are many other ingredients, many other parts that all together give this taste. So once you have that understanding, you are anymore not become biased to that one piece of whatever the object. So then always remember. So observing inhalation, exhalation, develop the ability to analyze. So that is what you need, because those are very fundamental human qualities that if you really want to develop the mind, wisdom, knowledge. But with this, all the machines, technology, that all these facilities, gadgetics, consumer products, what happened? We are losing the power of analyzing. So that's why, in a certain way, you have to have some practice. So another thing is not only analyzing. So with this, all the social medias and information keep pouring to us. But the thing is, if you don't have the ability to analyze yourself, another thing is the evaluation. That's a very important nowadays. So it doesn't matter whatever the field that you work, you have to have a mental skills to evaluate the information. So kind of like a questioning and also kind of like examining and look for evidence. So recognizing. So this all develop how you can go deeper into and see what is this, rather than just believing anything. Another thing is that that in the very beginning, that whatever come to you, you have the ability to break down it to pieces, and then you have the ability to see the evaluation, see the credibility, and then you come to combine all together and understanding what is this. So when you have this skill inside, it develops the ability to reflect. So so remember this. The very first thing, you have to get the very clear information from this outside and even within your perception. So then what you need to do, that you have to have the ability to reflect on that information. So this mental model will help you to give these skills. So once you have the ability to reflect on it, it will take you to understand the truth that you experience. So this all about our own mind. So then, rather than going with the outside information, have the ability to avoid your cognitive bias yourself. Have the ability not to follow just the stories. Be brave enough to question yourself, your own ideas. Be brave enough to argue with your own assumption. Be brave enough to say no to your own imagination. So that way, you are kind of like develop this clear understanding inside. So then when you practice meditation, when you observe, so how we can apply this? When you observe the inhalation, exhalation, again and again, rather than interfering, involving with the natural process of inhalation, exhalation, you allow everything to settle down as it is and become conscious and observe the sensation of inhalation, exhalation in front of your nose and your upper lip area. And now you're going to break it down to parts. So that's where you're going to analyze. First, separate inhalation, exhalation. And then observe one inhalation, the beginning, the middle, end. Exhalation, the beginning, the middle, end. And follow the entire continuation. And then observe the very character, nature of it. Some become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. So don't interfere with it. And look at the credibility. Look how accurate that your information that you gain, what you see as breathing. Is it breathing or is it your imagination? Because the mind is very tricky. Remember that. It's not easy for you to shift your mental model, change the way you think. Your mind has a habit and it is so smart. And when you try to change it, sometimes it slowly starts to go round, around and come back to the same place. So that's why again and again you have to look into it and you have to be strong and clear. When the mind go here and there, bring it back. And even when you see the inhalation, exhalation, again and again, evaluate yourself. Is this inhalation or is my imagination? Question yourself. Am I creating this inside my mind? Or is it really happening independently? Because inhalation, exhalation is a bodily action, not a mental action. So now observing is the mental action. So now you are not going to interfere with the bodily action. But it has a very deep, it's a very strong relationship, sometimes very difficult to recognize. But if you become aware, you can recognize it. So once you recognize that, and little by little, you can go deeper. And then your body also follow the same kind of method, pattern. And the body depending from breathing, and also the mind depending on the breathing, and the body mind both, and at the same time breathing also has some kind of effect related to the mind and the body. So by the time this all going to interconnected and settle down as one. So now you understand that whatever you experience is not just a one single thing. It's a combination of many things. That's the very basic principle of the Buddha's teaching. So now you understand it with the very building block of the life. But once you understand it within yourself, you are capable to understand with around your nature, perception. So remember, in life, there is nothing happen independently itself. It always need a combination. So how you can connect it to your mind? So look at the world. People are so struggling to cure things itself. As example, anger. People think anger as a one kind of like one subject. No, anger itself cannot be there. Anger need a kind of like ignorance. If there is no ignorance, there cannot be anger. Or otherwise, anger needs some kind of lust, desire. Otherwise, anger cannot be there. And the greed. And sometimes people try to get out of the greed. Greed cannot be there without ignorance. So just imagine, sometimes your ignorance is so high, but you are trying to avoid, you are trying to get away from the greed. It cannot happen. Because that whatever even our mental quality is not going to be independent. Even in Abhidhamma, it talk about, it break down to thought, different thoughts. But when it come to action, no any one single thought itself, mental quality itself going to come. It always need a combination. Remember that. So then when you work for something, don't just focus to one thing there. There is something, hold the power behind it. Have the clarity, freedom to see it without becoming biased to certain mental ideas. So that way, and even if you want to develop the loving kindness, generosity, compassion, wisdom, so that kind of things, that also cannot develop just by one way. You need something next to it. So as example, faith, conviction, trust. You have to have the awareness with that. You have to have some kind of wisdom next to it. Otherwise, it can destroy you. With the wrong faith, people can destroy the world. But if you keep the wisdom next to it, then you're going to be balanced. And the effort, just imagine, if you don't have some kind of wisdom and awareness next to effort, you may be going to be busy, but no result. It's not profitable. So then always remember that whatever you do, even for meditation, tranquility state, you have to have some kind of awareness next to the tranquility state. Otherwise, any mental imagination can mesmerize you. Then you think you attain to samadhi, kind of like you become like a zombie next day. You start to being in a different world yourself, mental world. Then you detach from the very natural life. So then have the wisdom and keep the awareness next to it. And even the wisdom itself not going to work in the world. Look at the world. The most of the educated people, wise people destroy the life, destroy the world. They are the, nowadays when it comes to the world, most corrupted. The people are not innocent, homeless people. The most corrupted people are well-educated people. In the pharmaceutical industry, even the politics, even the spiritual world, this everything corrupted because of the people, well-educated people. Why it happened like that? Because they don't have the faith. So when you have only the wisdom without faith, it is very dangerous. And if you have the faith without the wisdom, that also dangerous. And you can become a suicide bomber and blow yourself with the faith if you don't have the wisdom. It's happened around the world. So that's why, remember, there is nothing going to be itself in the world. No any single atom. Of course, it can be, but when it comes to action, it always needs something. So then you have to have a clear understanding how these things happen inside you. So whatever, the sadness, worry, disappointment, anxiety, depression, fear that you have in you, remember, don't just try to struggle with that one thing that you think. No, there is something next to it. Find it. Go for it. Have the courage to work for it. So question yourself. Argue yourself. Break it down to that whatever that hold you. Look into pieces. And then you will see that how this cause and effect really work. And when it comes to that, finally, somehow, what we think not going to work, what we think just create a picture inside our mind, that's it. But when it comes to the reality of the world, uncertainty, 100%. So then don't look for certainty. Embrace yourself. Be enough strong yourself to be open to uncertainty. That is the day you liberate. You liberate from your own mind. That is what we need. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out, and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalation, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens through the sensation, recognize it, do nothing extra. So bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away. Already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata ca ammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Imaya Dhamma Patipattiya Buddham Pujemi Dhammang Pujemi Sanghang Pujemi Attaya Imaya Patipattiya Jati Jara Vyadi Maranam Ha Paribunjisami Idamme Punya Kammang Asavakkhaya Vahang Hotu Sabba Dukkha Pamuncatu. Bless.